don't discredit the sport. I discredit the so-called executives of the sport, the people that are supposedly supposed to be enforcing the sport, looking out for the sport, ruling over the sport. I put an indictment on them. An indictment on them. They are corrupt. I have no problem saying it. They are corrupt. There's no way that you see 118 to 110 for Canelo and you say, well, it's just a mistake. It was just my judge. No, it's not a mistake. That can't be a mistake. Look, this sport has shown history.
I'd like to respond.
We all want to ignore it, but this sport has shown history of corruption. The IBF years ago, Bob Lee, the president, he got caught on videotape taking money. He was the president of the IBF. Everyone forgets a few years ago, there was a woman judge, $30,000 wound up in her bank account after a bad decision. What is that? What is that? Again, the sport, and I love Steven, the sport is a great sport. It's the greatest sport of all.
You made your living in it.
The greatest sport of all. It's the only sport. This life, this world can be unfair, okay? Sometimes we make too many excuses, we do, and we try to play ourselves as victims, and we're not victims in this beautiful country. We can be anything we want to be. But sometimes, even with that, life is unfair. This is the sport, the one sport where on any given night, a kid from anywhere, from dirt floors to where he was from a country that he didn't have the rights, he didn't have money, he had nothing but poverty, he didn't have parents, he didn't have anything. But he had it in his chest, in his heart, to work hard, to get in that ring, to be ready, to be trained. And on one given night, he can have his hand raised and be called champion of the world and make life fair, make the world fair. It's the only sport that can do that. The sport is beautiful, but the administrators of the sport, they stink.
That's what this comes down to.
There's money,
you have a problem with one judge's decision.
to be made in the casino business, but there is an oversight board to make sure there's no corruption. There's no oversight board in boxing. There's no commission. There's no national commission. No federal guidelines. Nobody looking and saying, can't do that. Can't do that. You can't be in charge. Promoter can't be in charge of who the judges are going to be. No, of course you want these judges. You can't be in charge. We're in charge. We're going to oversee it. We're going to police it. We're going to make sure that there's no corruption. There's nothing. There's everywhere else in the garment business, there's corruption. But there's an oversight. In the Wall Street, there's corruption. But there's an oversight.
There's
no
oversight and there's consequences. Calm down. Hold on, Teddy. There's always been, yes, you have oversight. But even with oversight, I can sit here and give you a laundry list of situations in various sports where there was oversight and there was still corruption. What happens is there's ramifications for those corruptions and that you eliminate it. The fact of the matter is with this judge, you eliminate this person. You make sure
she'll be working again. She'll be working again. She will be working again. I make you a bet. I love you. I make you a bet.
Okay. Are you suggesting that one of the judges was told by someone to make sure the outcome is a certain way?
You don't have to tell them anymore. It's not like in the old days, in the 50s, with Frankie Carbo, the mobster, was running boxing and he would hand an envelope in a smoky cigar-filled room. It's not that way anymore. You don't have to directly tell them. They know who the promoter's fighter is, who the fighter that should go forward, that they want to win.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, so what happens is they know that if they want to continue working, in whatever situation it is, they understand that the promoter, they have the power to say no to that judge. Before a fight, they have the power to disqualify certain judges. They understand that if the right guy don't win, the promoter, they're going to disqualified. There's a lot of unemployment in this sport. There's not a lot of promoters doing big fights. So there's only certain guys. So the judges know there's only certain spots they can make money. So if those promoters aren't satisfied, if those promoters fighters aren't their guy doesn't go forward, they're not going to work again. They're going to be on the X list. They're going to be on the blacklist. The promoter's going to say, no, we don't want him. We don't want him. We don't want him. And they're going to understand what that means. And I'll tell you another thing. I've been at these dinners. Stephen, the night before in Europe, in New York, in the United States, anywhere where there's big boxing going on, the night before you will see a big dinner where there's lobster, there's filet mignon, there's good wine, there's champagne, there's a big table. And guess who the host is? The promoter. And guess who's sitting at the table? The judges that are going to work the next day. The judges that are going to work the next day. Guess who's picking up the tab? You don't think that that's subliminal? You don't think that that's suggestive? That guy's picking up the bill and you're supposed to do the right thing the next night? And maybe someone sits next to you. Maybe someone sits next to you and says, how you doing? Okay, you know what? I'd like to get a room for an extra 2 nights. I'm bringing my girlfriend in. Can I get an extra plane ticket? Yeah, no problem. What is that? Again, it's nobody telling you what to do. But what is that suggesting? What does that mean? Could that take place in any other sport? Could that take place? Could the Steinbrenners host a dinner the night before a World Series game? Could they host a dinner for all the umpiring crew? No, they couldn't, because it has a look of impropriety. Even if it's not impropriety, it has a look of impropriety. It has a suggestion of what you want done. And that's where the corruption is. There's no separation.